So we've got our second worded problem, and this is an example of using trigonometry for angle of depression, okay? So with every worded problem, yes, we read it more than once, but we also draw our diagram. So I'm going to start by drawing Fred. He's 1.7 meters tall, and that's a vertical line. Then we've got our horizontal line because he's 0.98 meters away from his prized flower. Now where those two lines meet are perpendicular, so that means that they form a right angle. Now we want to find the angle of depression as Fred looks at his flower. So the angle of depression is basically our horizontal line and the angle which goes down, it goes downward and forms our new line of vision, okay? So Fred is looking ahead and then he looks a little bit downward to make sure that he's looking directly at the flower, and this angle right here is our angle of depression. We don't know what it is, so I just named it theta. We're going to find out what it is. Now if you recall the notes that have been posted on the website, we know that Fred's angle of depression is actually equivalent to the flower's angle of elevation of Fred. Okay? So we know that this line splitting them, that this angle of depression is equal to this angle of elevation. Now it looks like this triangle can be solved. We've got our angle theta and we've got our sides. Okay? So now we have to label it. So our theta angle is here, our right angle is here. Directly opposite from the right angle is our hypotenuse. Directly opposite our theta angle is our opposite. And we've got our adjacent, which is directly right next to our angle theta. Okay, so if we find out the angle of elevation of the flower, we get Fred's angle of depression as he looks at his flower. So, writing down the trig ratio again, so, ka, toa. Which trig ratio do you think we're going to use now? So we've got adjacent and opposite. Hey, it's tan. So we've got tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. Now we substitute our values in. So we don't know our theta, tan, but we do know our opposite, which is 1.7, and our adjacent, which is 0.98. Now we need to get theta by itself, so we need to take tan to the other side. Now, when we take tan to the other side, that becomes inverse tan. Inverse tan of 1.7 over 0.98. And we type that into the calculator. Getting my trusty calculator. Now, we've got our inverse tan. On my calculator, it's a little different. And we've got 1.7 over 0.98. Remember to put the brackets in. And that gives us 60.037. Theta equals 60.037. Now it's got to be in degrees, so let's round up to the nearest second decimal place. So 2 decimal places. So that gives us 60.04 degrees. Okay? Theta, 60.04 degrees we found for the angle of elevation of the flower to Fred. So that means that Fred's angle of depression as he looks at his flower is 60.04 degrees.